What's up, everybody? Welcome to StreamGeeks live every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. As you may know, over the past month or so, I have been producing all of our live streams myself here in our studio in Westchester, Pennsylvania, due to social distancing. I'm going to show you guys how I'm pulling all of that off. But most importantly, today's topic is about the brand new HuddleCamHD live streaming webcams and why we think these are really some of the best webcams for live streaming available today. So these cameras right in front of me, we have a USB version and an NDI version, and I'm going to explain kind of how they both work. These are 4K webcams that include an IR remote control. And not many webcams include an IR remote control, so that's one thing that really sets them apart straight from the get-go. But there's a heck of a lot more to learn about with these cameras. And they're just perfect for live streaming and video production. And I'm going to kind of go over why that is. I couldn't be more excited about these cameras. And the major game changer here is, yes, they are 4K, but they allow you to select 720 and 1080p video outputs and then use the 4K image sensor to have what we call ePTZ. And so what that means is that you can have an electronic pan, tilt, and zoom control in a 4K or 720p output, giving you 3x, 4x, up to 8x lossless digital zoom, depending on your video resolution output. And it's just super incredible. You can give far end camera control of these cameras to somebody via something like Zoom video conferencing, but the IP connected one has even more features. So let's high level take a look at this 4K webcam. This is the USB version, and then we'll take a peek at the NDI version as well. So it has USB and HDMI. So that right off the bat, this product costs $499. We believe it will be shipped next week. And these cameras can very quickly and easily, they look like a really big webcam, right? So let me grab one of these and I'll show you what it looks like. So let's see here, number 12. This is how I'm producing everything by myself with this little touchscreen here. But here is one of them. This is our network connected one. This one is PoE. Oh gosh, don't want to lose that. This one is PoE, and you can see it can go right on the top of a monitor. So if I move this over just a little bit, it can be snapped right onto the front, just like any old webcam. It can be put right onto the top of any laptop, all right? But it also has on the bottom a 1/4-20 connection. So you could be using this camera for a video conference call, communications, have the ability to zoom in and out very quickly and easily, like really powerful. With Zoom, you can zoom in 3x, pan, tilt, and zoom. We're going to show you guys all those features. But also, you can put this on a tripod, and now you can set up your own little live streaming mini video production studio. So this single camera really has multiple purposes, and I'm so excited to hear what you guys think as well. So please let me know what you guys think in the comments. I should mention that Tess is here with me, and we have a live Zoom video conference going on. How's it going, Tess?
It's going great. Happy to be here. Happy late Easter for those of you who celebrated.
What a wonderful Easter it was, by the way. So many great live streams going on over the holiday, and really helped folks stay connected who are stuck at home this Easter. But I also want to say that I have these NDI cameras and webcams. I'm going to show you guys how they work. So if you join this Zoom call, this Zoom meeting right here, you can actually request to take remote camera control from anywhere in the world of this camera. So Tess is going to do that, or maybe someone who joins our Zoom party will do that with us today. Now, there's a really great video that you can watch if you're interested in this camera, but I wanted to explain how ePTZ works, because it's a brand new technology. And essentially, as you zoom in, okay, are basically gaining more pan and tilt and zoom capabilities. So you can see here, you can have these presets that allow you to zoom in and out of a space. And as you zoom in, you gain more access. I think the easiest way would be for me to quickly show this off. So I've got a little controller here that can control the camera I have connected. Is it this one? Oh yeah, that's it. EPTZ. Okay, this can control this camera. Now the crazy thing about this is that this camera is not moving. There are no moving parts in this camera, which makes it incredibly reliable. You're essentially getting a PTZ-like camera experience in the form factor of a webcam. And I've been in this industry for a long time, and this is pretty incredible stuff. So that's 8x optical zoom right there, or digital zoom, sorry. 8x digital zoom. That's totally usable. So you get this wide angle 100 plus view, and then you have the ability to really quickly and easily zoom into different places and have presets. So I can click a button here and have it go to a specific preset that I've already set up, for example. So you've got really great capabilities of calling presets. It's basically like having a PTZ camera in the form factor, again, of a, let's see, where's my shot? Here we go. In the form factor of a really, oversized webcam, if you will. It's a big webcam. It's not a small one, but it packs so much of a punch, and it keeps things in focus for up to 25 feet away and gives you that 8x digital zoom to really do some awesome stuff. Now, these cameras have more features that we should talk about because the engineers at PTZ Optics have really thought this through. So first of all, you get the IR remote control. So you get the IR remote control, and with the network connected version, you can do control with the iOS app. With the USB connected version, you can control over USB. And of course, the IR remote here. So I'll show how that works in a moment, but essentially we can control the camera directly from the included IR remote. And you can create those camera presets that make presentations more dynamic. As you can see in this little video playing here, you can get a wide shot, you can zoom into the data, and you can just make things more professional and more engaging for your audience. Now, this camera is really easy to set up. You can mount it on a wall, you can tripod mount it, clamp mount it to your room. And by the way, I am here to answer questions. So Jim Teague is saying, to be clear, the USB version has PoE. I may have misspoke. The USB version is powered over USB. The Ethernet version is powered over Ethernet. Having an NDI webcam is very smart. Thank you. I agree. I'm really, really excited about having the world's first NDI webcam, which is going to open up a lot of doors. So very easy to set up, and it's totally turnkey. This is plug and play technology, which I do believe the world needs right now. A future-proof Ultra HD 4K setup with built-in microphones. So you can use this as a complete video conferencing or streaming solution, which I'm thinking of yoga instructors. I'm thinking of teachers who just want a single plug and play solution to start either recording high definition videos or going live online. Now, this is a feature right here that I'm really excited about, and I can definitely demonstrate it today. This is called auto framing. And what this does is when turned on, the camera will automatically zoom in to the people that are in frame. So if you're sitting at a conference room table and there's 6 people there, all 6 people will be in frame. If 2 people leave, the camera will reframe, and it's looking for 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. So it uses like facial recognition in order to make intelligent decisions on where the camera should be electronically pan, tilting, and zooming. So this is a really cool feature for people who want to use that to give the camera really automatic controls. And then this is something I want to demonstrate very soon, which is the remote camera control integrations, especially with Zoom video conferencing. Something that maybe I should give you control of the camera in just a moment here through Zoom, and we'll show how that works and then we'll look at the NDI version separately. So Tess, let's go ahead, and I want to give you control of the camera. Actually, it looks like Julia's here, and we've got someone else. Would somebody, hey, how's it going? What's your name? I think you're muted. I don't know if you can unmute.
Yeah, I mean, guys, I've been waiting for something like facial recognition framing for about 3 years, actually.
Cool. Well, I'd be happy to demonstrate that. By the way, what's your name?
Julian.
Jillian. All right, so
Julian, yeah.
Oh, Julian.
Yeah, we probably spoke before. I run Prolific TV as well as the Disabled People's Channel, which is going well, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, how about this? For a test, since we're live here, I want to test out the remote camera control. Why don't you go ahead and right-click the video that's next to me, the one that's this video stream here. Click it in Zoom.
Except I'm not seeing exactly where I should click. That's the only problem.
See where my hand's waving right here? Just right-click.
Right, yeah.
Just right-click that video.
Right-click.
And then
that's just an area of the Zoom, isn't it?
And then just right-click the video and select Request Remote Camera Control.
All right. I think I've got to get out of full view. Okay. I'm in a right-click. Request camera control. Got it. Yeah, got it. What do I do now? What do I do?
All right. So go ahead and click that. All right. Now.
I'm in there now. What am I doing now?
Now on my screen, which I just want to show really quickly, this little button popped up on Zoom that says, Julian has requested camera control. And I'm going to go ahead and click approve. You should
approved.
You should have PTZ camera control of this. So in the right-hand corner of your screen, are you seeing that?
It's ticked up, request approved. I don't know what to do with my buttons at the moment. Where am I doing? What am I pressing now? There we go. There we go. Hey, I think I got it. Well, I've got the controls. I don't know if it's actually moving. Yay! Slow, delayed.
So go ahead and zoom it in. There you go. There you go. And then you can go ahead and pan and tilt it around. So what we're thinking with this obviously is there's a lot of different scenarios. One might be a teacher and an assistant teacher, where the assistant can help pan and steer the camera into relevant areas of a teaching space. You might be a yoga instructor or a some type of person who's doing a sales presentation, and you could have someone on your team remotely operating the camera and zooming things in for you.
That's good. That is really good. That's an interactivity that I think people need to use with online streaming. Why are we not more interactive, guys? It's crazy.
So that's one feature I wanted to show off today. And then while we're still doing our presentation, in just a moment here, we'll open it up to Q&A. But I want to also mention that the NDI version of this camera opens up some new doors, especially in the live streaming and video production space. So NDI, for folks who don't know, that's an IP video system that allows you to plug just a single Ethernet cable. You can see there's no USB here, just a single Ethernet cable into the back of the camera for power and video and control, which in a lot of scenarios makes life easier. It also supports direct integration software like OBS, Wirecast, vMix, and XSplit. So it has all the same features for camera control, auto framing, Ultra HD, 4K capabilities with that ePTZ control that's so nice. But now over the network, you can plug this camera in anywhere on your network and bring it into any computer on your network. So if you've got a video conferencing room in one space using GoToMeeting, and then you have another production area where you'd like to bring in that same source, doesn't matter where you are, you're not tethered by a single USB connection. You have a lot more options, especially for things like digital signage. So here in this example, you're seeing there's a conference room using the camera. There's a camera in the warehouse, and there's a camera in the studio, and it can all be brought into something like Skype, GoToMeeting, or WebEx. So again, very powerful. That's why we have two different models here that allow us to, kind of find the right solution for the right person. These cameras are both the same exact price. They're starting at $499, and we believe shipments will start next week, and which is really incredible because it's at a time when there's global shortages of webcams. These are shipping as of next week is when we expect to have an announcement on the shipments. So very exciting. You can also use, oh man, accidentally had a fall. It's all right. Put it back. You can also use the Elgato Stream Deck to control these as well. If you're a streamer and you're using the Elgato Stream Deck, I'm going to have a little tutorial coming out on how to use that. Okay, I think we did a pretty good presentation. Now we're going to open it up to Q&A, and we're going to start our post-show podcast. Julia, I see you found some time to join us. How are you doing today?
Mute me. Oh, okay. I'm doing well, Paul. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for joining us.
Great.
Hopefully,
it's great. Thanks for the tutorial here. As a marketing professional, I can tell you that this webcam is going to be so helpful to so many different people with different workflows, and sort of at a price point that, a smaller business could jump in at, like you mentioned, yoga studios and fitness studios and things like that. I noticed my gym is doing live streams. So this is a really great, exciting product.
Cool. Well, I'd like to ask you a little bit more on that as we start our podcast. I think it's about time to do so. So Tess, if you're ready, we'll answer all these questions in a short post-show podcast.
Recording now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the StreamGeeks post-show podcast. Today, we're doing our podcast a little bit differently due to social distancing, but we're still going to have a lot of fun. Instead of having everyone come into our beautiful podcasting studio in Westchester, Pennsylvania, we are joined with a group of video production professionals over the public area internet using Zoom video conferencing. Tess, thank you so much for putting this on. How are you faring in these fun, interesting times that we have going on?
Well, I think we've quite well adjusted given the technology that we have access to, like Zoom and like the cameras that we offer.
Yes, I mean, adaptation is key here, and we have been adapting and changing in order to stay relevant. I'd like to kind of set the stage here for our podcast and then open it up to a collaborative communication here with all of our great people joining us via Zoom. Today, we are going over what I believe is the best webcam for live streaming, which is the HuddleCamHD 4K webcams. There's two versions. One supports USB. It's plug and play. Plug it in, use it with Zoom, Skype, GoToMeeting. But what makes it different is that it's got a 4K image sensor with a feature called electronic pan tilt zoom, which allows you to zoom in and out, have camera presets. It's like a PTZ camera, which traditionally can cost $1,000, $2,000, and it comes in the form factor of a webcam. So it really is probably the most powerful webcam that you can buy. It starts at only $499, and the USB version has HDMI. We didn't really talk about too much, but that allows it to integrate with products like Blackmagic switchers and capture cards. The quality of the HDMI, I think, is a little bit better than the USB. I still have to do some testing on that. And then we have an NDI version. NDI is a popular streaming protocol, especially in esports, and it's really good for IP video production. So those are the two cameras that we just demonstrated today. We gave remote camera control to our friend Julian, who's joining us, I think from the UK, judging by your accent, but I'm not sure.
Certainly is. Yeah, London, yeah, UK.
Joining us from London.
West London, UK.
From West London. And What did you think? So Julian, you got a chance. You're on the other side of the country, other side of the world, sorry, I should say. And you're controlling this camera set up here in the studio.
I think we're on the way forward. This is what we've needed. What we've lacked on streaming for years is both quality and interactivity from the audience. So I think ultimately, if you can get the level of interactivity and quality, people's eyes will pop out and they'll be your followers forever. I've been running streaming for actually a few years with traditional shape setup cameras, and I have had remote control over, moves and stuff. One thing I'd love to see before we go is the facial recognition, if that's possible.
Yes, definitely. So Julian grabbed camera control through Zoom video conferencing. So I have this webcam, which calling it a webcam is almost, an understatement, but we plugged this webcam into my computer, pulled it in via Zoom, and then Julian was able to right-click my video and request far-end camera control and take control of my camera. So we were chatting earlier before the podcast saying that would be ideal for a teacher with an assistant or somebody who would like to have a remote camera operator help increase that engagement. Julian, where are you seeing this being used? And then let's talk a little bit about that facial recognition software that's built into the webcam as well.
I think you hit the nail on the head, actually. I think if you're in a setup where you say ask an audience member a question and they can zoom in onto an area or something and they can describe what they think about it, like the way a student would or somebody just interested in what they're seeing. It's a form of interactivity that's brilliant.
And you telling me that actually reminded me of something that we haven't spoken about on this webinar, is that we've actually built a plugin for Twitch. And I don't know if people are familiar with Twitch. It's the world's most popular esports video game live streaming. It's like YouTube, but for video gamers. And we've actually built in a remote PTZ camera control option to Twitch that works with the NDI version of this webcam. So it is possible to have an audience of live streamers. And we actually have some live streamers who are doing this, who can give an audience member camera control of the camera in their studio where they can look behind the scenes and kind of see things. There's a really interesting live streamer from the west side of Canada, Vancouver area, and he's allowing his audience to kind of do an Easter egg hunt around his studio with a remote camera control. And he's able to monetize it as well because Twitch allows you to actually have the audience pay bits. It's like a form of monetization through their streaming platform. So they're making money by allowing people to get access to, behind the scenes looks at a rock concert or some type of engaging tutorial. So I will get to the facial recognition part of this, Julian, but I want to let everyone ask their questions. This camera does feature facial recognition that is designed to allow the camera to automatically kind of frame the APTZ zoom, pan tilt zoom functionality to capture someone in view. But Tess, you go ahead and manage this, our Zoom meeting here. Who do we want to bring on next to ask a question?
Sure. I know that there's some questions on the Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn chats as well.
Okay, sure. Let's do it.
If you'd like to ask a question and you are in the Zoom call, I invite you to use the raise hand feature, and then I will go ahead and unmute you, and then we can communicate that way. That makes it easiest for us.
Victor Quarterman's asking a question here on YouTube. He says, due to the size and shape of this camera, will the NDI box cam do the same thing? And this is the NDI box camera. We didn't really plan on talking about this on today's show, but I'll briefly show it here. This is, see if I can find this here. Not that one. Here we go. This is the PTZ Optics NDI Z-Cam. This camera has two SDI outputs and an NDI output as well. We're going to cover this on Wednesday. This also is a 4K camera with ePTZ. So that is a new trend and new technology you're going to be seeing a lot more. This is more of a production product where these cameras we've been showing today are a bit more of a consumer, plug and play technology. But if that answers the question, we're going to go over that on Wednesday.
I'm going to go ahead and unmute PT Tech to ask a question for you, Paul.
Hi.
Hey guys, Paul here from Jamaica. How you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, not too bad. So I use Livestream Studio software to do my live production. I currently use the PTZ Optics camera also, and so over NDI. So when we bring that into the studio, you have PTZ controls. With the webcam, that's the NDI version. Would you also have that PTZ option where you can do presets and save the smart focus? You have those options available within,
yes.
For example, Livestream Studio software?
Yes, so that is good news for Livestream Studio users, but also anyone using vMix, OBS, Wirecast. The PTZ protocol that we're using for this webcam is the same as the PTZ Optics protocol. So all the integrations that PTZ Optics cameras support today will work with the the NDI version of this webcam. Now, with that being said, there is I'm trying to find this camera here. There is a USB version. Some of the video production softwares will work with the USB version. All of them will work with the NDI version because they all really work with IP control protocols. Only some of them work with USB, what we call UVC camera control. So yes, that should work for you.
Next, I'm going to unmute Lee Love. Hey, Lee.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Hi, yes, I can.
Hi, well, hello, Tess, and hello, Paul. Nice to meet both of you.
Nice to meet
Watching you guys for a while. I hope you're all doing well and healthy. I have two questions. One is, first of all, let me say this is a fantastic product. I'm already, totally jazzed about it. It definitely sets the webcam market on its head. It seems like they've just, slowly the improvements that people have made in webcams has been awful over the years. So this is really fantastic. So I applaud you guys and what you're doing in this arena. My first question is the USB version and the NDI version the same price? And the second question is, why is it no one puts external audio input on a webcam? It seems to me that there a 3.5 millimeter or something so you could wear a lapel mic and get the best quality audio would make sense, but I've never ever seen anyone do that.
Well, first of all, I think that is a great idea. And Tess, if you would not mind writing that down and go ahead and posting that into our Slack channel that we use for collaboration with our engineers, I want to make that a feature request right away. We are on generation 1 and we're known to, obviously release a generation 2. It takes time. You'd be surprised how long it takes to bring hardware to the market. We've been working on these for years. I am not sure why. Because now there is built-in, there's 2 microphones built in. So you do get a dual beamforming microphone array connected to both of these units. It outputs over the USB and it outputs over NDI. So that's nice, but I understand the desire to have a lapel mic integrated into this. Next, the good news is that these are both the same price. So both of these cameras are $499.
Excellent. I definitely want a couple of NDI. I mean, people that are starting to do some live streaming productions, whether it be plays or whether it be sports or things like this, PTZ cameras can be, $2,000-$3,000 depending on the models. I know you guys have some that are less than that. And so the ability to be able to get started, what I call creep, crawl, walk, run, and get your feet wet into this and start generating some revenue. This is fantastic. To be able to do this over NDI and be able to televise a sporting event. So I totally applaud you guys. This is great. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your question and thank you for the feature requests. Feature requests are what we thrive on. and the collaboration is really a two-way street. So I would expect that feature will 100% be considered. I hope that it gets implemented. Within it could take a year, but it might.
I used to work in product development for a manufacturer, a little company called Netscape. You might have heard them. And I totally understand what it's like. You get all these requests people have for features, and you got to prioritize them, figure out what makes sense, what makes sense for the product. And then again, the development that's involved. So I totally get that. And not to mention the cost, because all of that affects the cost. And if you're trying to hit a certain price point, then you can't add everything in there for $29.95, can you?
Yeah, but I totally get it, because for this product specifically, I think that a lot of people are just getting into streaming. For a yoga teacher or a karate teacher to have a wireless lapel and plug this into their laptop would be magical. Now, luckily, a lot of laptops have a 3.5 input,
Right.
So getting that audio in is going to happen. But it would be nice if it was integrated into the camera.
Then don't you get a delay when you have the audio coming in from two different sources?
It certainly does happen, and a lot of times, what you really want to do is add some delay to the audio to fix that.
Now, you guys have another webcam product you released not too long ago, maybe a year or so ago, called the Webcam 80 or something. How does that impact that product?
So, well, the Webcam 80 is less than $100. It has some nice features. Like, for example, with that product and these products, you have, and we didn't show this off during the show. We probably should have. You have full capability of opening and closing the iris and the shutter speed and the contrast and things. Like, it really is like a PTZ camera in a webcam format. With PTZ cameras, we're very used to being able to open and close the iris, lock the shutter speed so that we can, color match this camera with another camera. So I do think that it's true that these are going to set the bar for the webcam market really high. And on a prosumer level, they're going to match well with the higher end PTZ cameras because they're developed by a PTZ camera manufacturer. All of the firmware that we've developed for our broadcast cameras has a lot of it has made it into these cameras. In fact, these cameras have even more intelligence in some ways when you consider the facial tracking and facial tracking solutions that have been integrated as well.
Well, John, I know John Mahoney. John Mahoney did a great job on Streaming Alchemy showing off that camera, and I got really excited about it when I saw the features. And I was just surprised that more people aren't talking about it in the community. But anyway, I don't want to hog this. Thank you very, very much, Tess. Thank you for taking my question. And again, great job. Keep at it.
Thank you very much. John Mahoney's a great guy. I'm hoping to get him one of these to demonstrate soon, because I know he'll run it through the paces for sure.
Back to the chat, and I want to remind everybody really quickly, if you do want the passwords for these Zoom calls that we're doing, you have to be signed up for live show notifications. If you haven't done that yet, I will post a link in the live stream chat so you can do that, so you can join us next time.
I'm getting a question from Victor here. He's saying, are there white balance adjustments for these? Question that I'd like to quickly address because it ties into what we were just talking about. Let me pull up the, let's see, 13 here. Okay, so this is the camera. This is the NDI camera. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the menu that we talked about. I wish it was a little bigger there, but essentially in exposure, I have it on auto right now, but I have full capabilities of going through and manually setting the shutter speed, the iris. Actually, you know what? Sorry, I misspoke. The iris is static on these cameras, but your shutter speed is generally something you want to lock off at a specific shutter speed based. Like if you're streaming at 1080p 30, you probably want to use 1/60th of a second, for example. And then the other thing is to answer your question on the white balance. I have this on auto right now. But there's indoor, outdoor, one push, which allows it to actually calculate based on what it's seeing, but also you can hold up a gray card or a white card to help it calculate based on that. And then there's the manual mode. And then a lot of people really like something called the VAR mode, which allows you to choose a color temperature based on the LED lighting that you may be using in a studio. So you can really fine tune it that way as well. I've just been keeping everything on auto. But again, this is not something that you see in a normal webcam, to have 2D and 3D noise cancellation, the ability to really tweak kind of luminance and contrast. I'll keep that there. It makes it look a little better. And then, of course, the ability to have a smartphone app, that allows you to, zoom the camera in and operate it as if it's a PTZ camera. So that is really what makes this camera different. All right, let's keep going to the questions here.
Sure, there's a couple questions in the chat on Zoom as well. Paul is asking for a side-by-side frame sync test between the USB and NDI version. That might be a good video request option if you can't do it now.
Yeah, that would be, I like doing stuff like that because I have the capability to do it. So I actually can pull that in if you'd like. I have to go back to my production desk here while we're running our post-show podcast. But I will do that. And by the way, for the people listening on the podcast, I'm just here all alone, social distancing. We're not allowed to have anybody else here at the studio. And I'm sitting down at my broadcast desk here. On one monitor, we have our Zoom call that's running and it's recording our podcast right now. I can see Dave, Lee, Julia, and Marcus here with us, Julia and Tess. And then on the left-hand side, I have my video production software. I can easily go ahead and take our video production software and just combined basically the USB and the NDI cameras so that I've got both of them together, which is what I have going on right now. And we could, do some basic testing. People always seem to like to do this. So essentially, if I zoom this out, this camera here is NDI. This camera here is USB. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So it's pretty close. The color matching could be, a little bit better. I really would need to go through the settings of each of these cameras. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's a great test, by the way. If you ever are trying to work with latency, you just kind of hold your hand up, you do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you kind of see where you're at as far as latency, and then you can add a little bit of latency to your audio to match things up. But does that answer the question? What'd you think?
Yeah, that looks good. Our Breezy's asking about if these cameras would play well with a PTZ Optic 30X and a Z-Cam.
I would say yes, because of the firmware. A couple things. One is, I don't know what software our Breezy's using for his video production right now, but I would say that regardless, if it's a PTZ Optics camera, the NDI version uses the exact same protocols. So it mixes pretty well in that regard. And it uses the same firmware. So the color matching should be pretty good too.
I suggested, of course, taking a look at the PTZ Optics review we do Wednesday as well. Because you already have a Z-Cam, I can imagine that the new Z-Cam would play well with that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He's using Wirecast. Have you tested the webcam with a green screen?
So the green screen, I have not. We don't have a green screen here, and my testing capabilities have really, really suffered over the past couple weeks, obviously, because of the work from home, style stuff. I actually have a green screen waiting for me, but it can't be installed right now. So I have not tested it with a green screen. I have no reason to think that it wouldn't work well, but I have not yet tested it with a green screen.
pulling my feed back up. I see Lee has his hand raised again.
Hi, Lee.
Nope, not me.
Ah, okay. Maybe it just didn't come up here. I'll lower it.
Don't open my mic or I'll start asking questions again.
Your set looks good, so it looks good on camera.
Alex Bird really quickly is asking, can you push
Okay, shall we look
and,
back at the YouTube and Facebook comments? I know there were some piling up on Facebook as well, Paul.
And Julian, I know I'm supposed to show the facial recognition, so we'll do that in just a second. Alex
no,
Bird,
it does not have a microphone port, but that was a good suggestion that we got from Lee. But, but both of these cameras do have 2 microphones inside of them.
And Alex Bird's asking if you can push in and pull in camera configs.
And do you know what image sensors these are using, Paul?
You know what? I meant to mention that today because
I think I lost audio from him.
Wait, testing 1, 2, 3. You should be able to hear me.
I can hear you now.
Okay.
I had the mic feed muted.
I'm gonna look up the sensor size right now because I know
I have that on hand actually, but I'm not familiar with this kind of stuff. So here's what Jonathan sent me. It says 1.5.5 inch CMOS effective pixel 8.51 M.
Yes, which is larger than most of our other cameras, to be honest. So that's a really good thing. And I think that we can go ahead and show the facial tracking part of this if you want.
Great.
So in order to do that, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna clarify it. It's like auto framing, right?
Yes, sorry, auto framing. And the other thing too, while we're here in looking at this camera, I want to show the menu a little larger here. So the menu of this camera gives a lot of different options. And what we're going to do is go into the EPTZ options and allow us to, you can actually edit the zoom limit option. And I want to kind of explain why you might want to do that. So when you're using an EPTZ camera with 3x digital zoom, you effectively have lossless digital zoom up to 720p video output. So with 720p, usually in Zoom video conferencing, you're getting less than 720p. Usually, I could look right now, but most people you can look in the statistics. I could look right now at the video statistics here, and it's telling me that the video coming in is 640 by 360. That's the video I'm sending. So it's not even 720. So you could zoom in effectively 4x, 5x digital zoom. And you can see that, by the way, anyone who's interested in seeing that, you can look at it right in the video dropdown under video settings by clicking statistics. And under video, you can see what resolution you're sending to the world. And so it's not even 720. And Zoom, obviously, servers are booming right now. So they're throttling the video quality that goes out. But still to this day, video conferencing is barely using 1080p video, right? So when we look at an EPTZ camera, we can limit the digital zoom so that someone using it never goes beyond 720p or 640p so that it doesn't pixelate depending on the solution that they're using. Personally, I do not mind allowing it to go all the way to 8x, but you have some flexibility there for limitations. Now on the auto framing side, if we turn that on, it's going to automatically frame. But even better, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn it on. I thought there was a demo mode for that. All right, we'll just turn it on for now. Auto framing is now on. Okay. There we go. So now that the auto framing is on, what I'm going to do here. So now I have no control over this camera. because it is automatically controlling everything, and it should see my face and zoom in. Let's see if that works. I might have to take a peek at, for this to work, let me try something, see if I can get this to work on this camera. Let's try here, okay. Settings, auto framing. Oh, good. Okay, it has the demo mode. All right. So it's really meant for like a face to come up, but is that working, Tess? Are you seeing it there?
Yep, I see it's trying to grab you.
Okay.
It's the red square.
So this is the demo mode. So what this is doing is showing you what happens. And the demo mode is nice because it's showing you the intelligence built into the camera and how it uses that intelligence. So I just wanted to show the demo mode really quickly so you can kind of see what it would be doing. And now go back and turn demo mode off. Now we'll turn auto framing on, and what should happen is it should see my face and it should zoom in to this space. And let me know when it happens because I have to kind of look at the camera.
It has you.
Okay. So it has now zoomed in. Now if I move over here, it's going to zoom in over here.
You look funny.
Yeah. So that's the way it works. And it works. It's really designed for like a conferencing experience, but I do think that it has the opportunity to be used in different ways. Like, for example, that was kind of cool. You know, it just framed me back here. If I move over here, you know, it's going to automatically find me and put me in frame. So it's not auto tracking. So this is not auto tracking. This is auto framing. It's meant to keep all the subjects in a scene in view automatically.
Quite helpful for video conferencing. Also, when you have new participants join the meeting, or join the meeting space, should I say.
Yeah. So I really wanted to use it for video conferencing. I mean, sorry, auto tracking, but that just simply isn't what it was designed for. There's not enough processing power to literally steer the EPTZ at this point to reliably, you know, it's consistently tracking. It's more making intelligent decisions based on, is there one person? Is there two people? Is there three people? Let's bring them all into frame and crop the EPTZ together. So that is what that feature is doing. Now, if you're a single presenter in a space like I just was, and you walk to a specific area, it will zoom into that area, but it's not going to track you like a tracking camera would. So I think we've done a really good job. Let's wrap the podcast up, Tess, and then we'll answer some final questions. So thank you, everybody, for listening to the post-show podcast with the StreamGeeks. Today, we looked at some of the most powerful live streaming webcams available today. It's the HuddleCamHD 4K webcams. You should check them out online. They're going to be shipping next week. We'll have more details on that ship date coming next week, but we're really excited. And these are some pretty cool webcams you can check out at HuddleCamHD.com. We'll see you next week. Cool.
Okay. When will, we keep getting the question, when will it be available on the website for ordering?
So as soon as companies like partners like B&H Photo and, all of the other companies out there, they like to actually get the cameras in stock in their warehouses before they're available to ship. So, we're going to get them this week into next week, approve them, QA test them. And next week, they're going to be, like, for example, people are going to ship them to Amazon so that Amazon can use their fulfillment centers to send them out, and things like that. So it could take a little while, but it's definitely worth calling and pre-ordering so that they can get shipped to you directly from our partners and manufacturers that we work with, partners and dealers. So really excited for everyone to get these and kind of, you know, get out there and try them. I was even working with some people who are going to be using the NDI versions with some cloud-based solutions to do remote esports tournaments and things like that. So I'm just really excited about it.
Victor would like to know if the auto framing would work with a group of 4 to 6 people.
Yes, there's no problem with that. As long as, you know, we did it with a group of 4 to 6 people in a conference space. That's really where it shines in groups of small people that are in, you know, a podcast. You know, one day there's 3 people, the other day there's 4 people, then there's 6 people. The camera itself can just choose how many people are there and, you know, frame everyone in view and use that, take advantage of that electronic pan tilt zoom. Raul's asking a question: what is the minimum bandwidth you can use for green screen via vMix call or another camera? Bandwidth you can use for green screen via a vMix call. So I would say the minimum I would suggest is 3 megabits per second. You know, 5 would be better. And again, that would be, I'm guessing there's two versions of bandwidth. There's the output, right? The upload speed that you're sending someone else, or the download speed that you're receiving from a guest. So 3 megabits minimum, you know, 4 to 5 would be best.
I'm also going to share the link to the webpage in the chats for anybody looking for more information on these products, and we will update you on shipping on those pages as well. And I'm sure we will on the show.
Yeah, and please, you know, ask your questions. You know, if something else comes up, you got a question, leave it right in the comments of the video on YouTube or Facebook. I'm always answering those questions. It's a great place to be, you know, collaborating, seeing what other people, and we're collecting all of the ideas of how they can be used and the feature requests, and trying to do our best to do a good product launch for this. I'll say that, you know, the webcam market is pretty hot right now, and it's difficult to keep these cameras in stock, but they are coming, and I'm guessing that they'll sell out pretty quickly, and then we'll have to wait a couple weeks for more to come in. That's my guess, but you know, I think that a lot of places are going to really appreciate the ease of use and the simplicity of a simple webcam that can be, at one point, I see them as multi-purpose. You know, at one point just connected to the top of a monitor, and then another point put on a tripod and positioned in a specific area.
Joey's asking about the personnel capability for audio for these webcams. We talked about 4 to 6 people on camera. What about 4 to 6 people's voices?
Oh, I see. And that is a good question. You know, this is the microphones built into this camera are beam forming microphones. So it's a dual channel. So two microphones with a beam forming dual array. So what that allows, the beamforming microphone array can get intelligible audio up to 10 feet away. Now, if 2 people are talking at the same time, beamforming, you know, it's not going to solve that issue. But what beamforming can do is it can really direct and steer which microphone is closer and more active toward the people that are speaking. That's what beamforming kind of does. So if one of the microphones is getting a better signal, the other one can, you know, intelligently, you know, kind of be, you know, taken down while the other one is pushed up. So it's got some intelligence built in for picking up intelligible audio up to 10 feet away. Beyond 10 feet, you know, we don't really recommend using this. So if you've got 6 or 8 people in a room, they've got to be around a table that's within, you know, 3 to 4 meters of the webcam.
That's a good consideration. So it's more about the distance from the camera.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. This has been another great live stream. I think it was really helpful. It helps me so much getting through these troubling times to get on camera and have a live stream and meet everybody and hang out. It's really a lot of fun. So thank you for being part of this.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thanks. I like your studio, by the way, Raul. It looks pretty cool.